Eric Abetz. What does active consideration mean, do you think?
Clearly, active consideration indicates that the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister are giving this very serious consideration. I've been on this issue now for quite some time, delighted that the United States has taken the stance it has, and I trust that all other freedom-loving countries of the world will also join this boycott to say very strongly to the communist dictatorship in China, your human rights abuses are just so egregious that the world, the rest of the world, is going to take a stand and indicate that what you're doing is completely unacceptable.
Are you talking about a diplomatic boycott, or do you want Australian athletes to boycott as well?
I've always been on about a diplomatic boycott. The International Olympic Committee should never have chosen Beijing, but having chosen Beijing, you cannot then punish the sportsmen and women for the venue chosen by an Olympic committee. These athletes have worked exceptionally hard to hone their prowess in their chosen sport or discipline. They want to showcase that to the rest of the world and pursue the elusive gold, silver or bronze medal. I understand that, and I don't think we should take away from the athletes that opportunity, but what we need to take away from the communist dictatorship in China is the propaganda value of them being able to say to their peoples, look at us, we are the centre of world attention, all the world leaders are coming to us, they respect us, they're being shown how well we do in Olympics. By staying away, the United States, in a diplomatic way staying away, the United States, hopefully Australia and a whole host of other countries will then be showing the Chinese population that the behaviour of their dictatorship has come to the notice of these other countries and that we stand in solidarity with the persecuted, with those that are in concentration camps, those that are barbarically having their organs harvested because they are simply prisoners of conscience. This sort of behaviour has to be called out.
Is this about human rights issues, or is this an opportunity for Australia to get back at China's perceived economic bullying of Australia?
For me, it's always been about human rights. In fact, other people around the world have been suggesting this as well. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House in the United States, was out on this shortly after I was, not because I was, I hasten to add, but there were people all around the world thinking that this should be done. And of course, the United States is taking a principled stand. Australia should as well. And look, we took a principled stand in relation to having COVID examined by the world community. Sure, there was some retaliation from the dictatorship, but at the end of the day, we cannot be reluctant in standing up for that which is right, just because we're scared of the schoolyard bully. We have to stand up, and the bully might take some belligerent action, so be it.
Sure.
Australians are up for it. We make the right decision on the basis of principle.
But have you and the government been slow to stand up on this issue? I mean, we've been hearing about the persecution of the Uyghur minority, for example, for years now. What have we done?
I have been pursuing these matters, and in fact, the issue of organ harvesting, I raised that at Senate estimate some time ago, and the department at the time weren't aware of these allegations allegedly. And when I pressed further, I was told that they hadn't actually looked into this situation.
Right.
Some
Are
of
they
us
doing
have
that
been
now?
onto these issues. Oh yes, and look, the China Tribunal, headed by Sir Geoffrey Nice QC from the United Kingdom, has now put forward a documentation, chapter and verse, none of which, might I add, has been denied by the Chinese authorities other than in their normal manner. So the facts are out there, and some of us have been onto this for a long, long time, and slowly but surely the world's waking up. If I might say, Prime Minister Scott Morrison did a fantastic job at the G7 recently in the United Kingdom, where he was able to be part of a world statement in relation to the communist dictatorship's behaviour in China. So
Sure.
let's hope that this gathers momentum.
But Eric Abetz, are we actually having an effect? I mean, standing up at Senate estimates is one thing. Being part of a joint statement is another. Have any of these things had an effect on China, the Chinese regime, doing the things that you say they're doing?
One hopes that these things has, as a minimum, a moderating behaviour on these
Is there any evidence
brutal
of that,
dictators.
though, Senator?
Look, I'm not sure that there is any evidence of that, but that doesn't stop you from doing that which is right and indicating to those that are being persecuted, at least it gives them some degree of succour, some degree of comfort to know that there are men and women in public life all around the world that are aware of their plight, are standing in solidarity with them and seeking to put pressure on the dictatorship that is inflicting this persecution on them. So as a minimum, we give heart and soul to those people that are suffering, but let's also hope and trust that ultimately this stand will modify and moderate the behaviour of the dictatorship.
Yeah.